Hey guys, so I thought I would hop straight into the fun Halloween tutorials. I've pinned back my hair because it's essential for this look. I do have a bit of a stain still on my lips from a lipstick, but we'll cover that with some foundation so that it'll all be sorted out quite nicely. So we're going to hop into base makeup. Actually, for this look, you don't necessarily need the concealer since you're hiding most of your face with makeup anyway. Now usually I don't powder my entire face, but for this look, we're going in. So I take my kabuki into my matte maker by Maybeline. It's a mattifying powder, this color. Officially I think it's Nude Beige, which is weird because I'm never Nude Beige anywhere, but whatever. I mean, swirly in the powder. Yay. Get it all up on their face. And the reason, and on the neck, reason for that being is that I'm going to be working with powders on the entirety of my face and not just lightly contouring. So I really want to make sure that the foundation is set and that I'm not going to have it pull because there's still powder, it's still slightly wet. And that's just a tip in general. If you're noticing makeup pulling, it's also why I always set my eye area with a powder, even if I've used an eyeshadow base, is because then it prevents it from still being slightly wet or something, and it just blends better overall. So that is why I do that. I'm just going to specifically take my fluffy brush and get the powder more properly on the eyes. I feel like I'm rushing this because my battery's dead, but that's note to self, filming 2 videos in one day tends to make the battery die, particularly if I can't remember the last time I really charged it. Right, we're setting the eye area there. What I am going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of concealer on my lips, particularly the lower lip, but I can do that later as well. So now we're going to go into contouring. I'm going to use my usual contour powder first. This is the NYX High Definition Blush in Taupe, which is weird, I'm using a blush to contour, but hey, when your skin tone's the way mine works, that's what you do. I'm just gonna, now you do not need to be any forms of gentle right now. You can go a little bit ham. So I mean, we're trying to get this all over the sides of the face, accentuate the widow's peak. If you don't have one, you can just kind of create one on your forehead. It looks a little bit like dirt on my forehead now, but trust me, it'll be great once I get the black going. Contour this side, sweep it up, and then under the jaw. And we're even going to take it further down the neck. So we're really going completely crazy. This. Now I'm going to take my kabuki brush and try and blend it a little more on my forehead. And I missed a spot. It's one spot where I went more ham than the other. I'm going to try and smooth out the harsh edges with the kabuki brush. It's a great blending brush, really. And what I've just basically done is created a kind of transition shade-esque idea for the rest of the face. For the rest of the face, I'm going to be using my Zoeva Smokey palette. And I'm going to be using black. Sounds a bit crazy, and I need to grab a different brush, so 1 second. Okay, so we're back. I've grabbed a different angled brush and we're gonna go into that black right there because apparently I have a death wish. Let's see. Oh yeah, that'll work. Trying to make sure that there's enough pigment on your brush. And now we get to the part that terrifies me. Oh yeah, that's great. Yes, that works. we're trying to create a spooky, unnatural face shape here. So we're just gonna see how well this black ends up working. I may have to darken the most outer edges, like the ones closest to the edges of my face, with a more precision brush. But focus please, camera. Maybe, no. And you're just gonna do the sides of like your throat area. Like so. And you're just going to want to build that. Now because you've layered quite a few powders, it should be fairly easy to essentially blend it all out once you're happy with the amount of color that we have going on here. Oh, it's very charming. There. What you should have created by now is a slightly more unnatural looking face shape. Okay, so I had originally wanted to get this done while I still had daylight, but it is currently fading very slowly outside. So we're just going to have to work with the light above me. The light might be more yellow than it should be, but hey, I've got the light reflecting in a mirror, which actually works pretty well. Good to know. Right, so where I'd left off is that we'd finished the creepy face contoury stuff. Although I do see, I think I need a little more on this side. So basically you just want to get, you know, give yourself a slightly more unnatural face shape. Just going to give my neck good cover. There we go. You could also, if you're going to be wearing a shirt that shows off your collarbones, do your collarbone area. I will be doing this area here. And what you just want to do is focus on anywhere that there is a hollow. Because normally you don't have shadows as bright, as dark in those areas. So you're creating a more unnatural look simply by doing that. Now all that's left is my nose. A little bit apprehensive about using my favorite nose contour brush with black, but we're going to do the regular nose contour first. I need my mirror. Yeah, my camera battery died. Always fun. There we go. Okay, so we're going to do my usual nose contour method, where I load up some color onto my brush, and then we go, whoops. Now remember that we're allowed to be very heavy-handed right now, because that's the whole look we're going for, is creepy and unnatural, and we're not trying to pretend that the shadow always hits our nose in this way. Alright, so we've got the kind of transition-esque shade going on, and now the black. Oh god, I'm so scared. Yeah, alright, that's not so bad. And just remember to blendy, 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 blend. And remember to connect it to the bottom side of your nose. I really are trying to achieve an unnatural shape here. It's not supposed to look like something you would normally wear. It's supposed to look like you put black on your nose. Also because it just gives that more unnatural feeling. If you felt you went in a little too heavy-handed, which I feel like I've done now, I just take the kabuki brush again, because I swear this thing is a lifesaver. And then It's going to look better once we get everything else done. Eyes. So what we're going to do, I'm going to lost one of my brushes. Oh, here. I'm going to take this beautiful gray shade from my Zoeva palette, and we're going to put that all over the lid, and we're going to go a little bit crazy with it. Just a little. And in we go. So you're going to put it all the way up on the brow bone. And you're going to try and connect it to the shadow you created here. And you kind of blend it into the nose creasy things. I promise this will not look crazy when I'm done. No. It might, but then I'll never upload it, so. Now this is just to give us a guide of where we want to put what. Because we're going to be going in with lots of gray and black and just in general making things more spoopy. I don't know why everyone's calling it spoopy. I don't understand. It just sounds like poopy. So I promise the nose will look more normal once I finish the eyeshadow and start going into the highlight, because I for some reason tend to do that towards the end. Alright, after playing around with that gray a little bit, see, we just got a little bit of coating, we are going into my Makeup Revolution, there's nothing on the front anymore, Makeup Revolution Ultra Professional Eyeshadow Flawless Matte. Yes. And we are going into the gray side, these right there. So I'm going to be taking a more precision brush. Where are you? There you are. Just going to get some of the previous eyeshadow off because I just finished filming another tutorial, and you can actually use one of these for it because it just kind of, without damaging your brush, it kind of creates this roughness that removes some of the color. So we're going to go in with this lighter gray first, that one. Plastic's coming off. Okay, and you really want to just load up your brush, and then you are going to put it on your lid. It doesn't look like much, but it's actually making, or at least, I don't know whether you can see it if it looks like much, but it's actually making the color on my lid more opaque, which is good. That's what we want. Now I kind of want to create a sharp angled eye here. So we're just going to use the eyeshadow for that. Doesn't have to be perfect or clean, but I'm a bit of a perfectionist. So, but I would be curious to know what you guys come up with for this type of a look. Now we'll go in and smoke out that sharper edge later and the under eye area. But first we're going into some more darker colors, because that's always so much fun. Loud. Okay, so now I'm going into the darker gray, which is this one right here. And we are going to deepen the fake crease, which is much higher up. This one. There. And pull that through, so that it connects into the nose. Again. Here, I'm essentially using the bone in my eye socket as a guide, and then we're going to deepen the outer V area, just onto the lid, over the bone. Onto the lid, over the bone. Ooh, that's creepy sounding already. And finally, I'm going to go in for a little bit of precision black just on the outer V here. Just along there, and I'm actually patting the brush. I'm not sweeping, I am patting. And then we are going in with my favorite blendy brush. It is this one. It's from H&M, I think. And it's called a crease blending brush, but I'm pretty sure you can just blend anything. I'm going to clean it on this thing again. It actually works really well, I'm very impressed. And we are just going to go and blend, and blend, and blend, and blend. And if you feel like the color's fading out too much, you can actually load a little bit of like the lightest shade that you used on your blending brush to increase the color impact a little bit. So I put a little bit of gray on here because I feel then you're smoking it out, blending it out without losing the impact of the color, because some eyeshadows, most of the time when you blend, it fades. That's just how it works. Okay? I have returned with a setting spray. Don't know whether it's officially a setting spray, but I don't care. Yeah, you heard me. And so I'm just going to clean off my... I need more of these. They're officially called concealer brushes, but who cares? And I'm going back into my Zoeva palette. And what I have here is this kind of silvery, it's got a slight shimmer to it, and that, along with a setting spray, will be packed onto the center of my lid. So and then we, too many things rolling around here. Grab my mirror, load up the brush, like so, and start patting. Maybe pat with gentle sweeping motions onto the lid. My boyfriend's gonna think I'm crazy when I come home from when he comes home from work. Oh God. Alright, now we're going to bring that down like so. And then the fun part. Told you I had a plan. We'll also be using this as a highlight. Kind of the wrong color for a highlight, but I'm going to be adding a highlight over it. And now we're just going to add that all over, at least the forehead area. I'm going to put it under the brow bone, or under the brows, right here on the brow bone. And the good old kabuki brush. Make sure everything blends nicely. Because we kind of don't want our skin to look like skin. That's what we're going for here. Where's my... I keep losing my brushes. Very frustrating, as I'm sure you can imagine. Now, because we're going for Wood Nymph, we're going to do one last fun thing with glitter and making our skin look more unnatural is I'm going to add a shimmery green. Also in this palette, I have this dark mossy green that has gray undertones, which works great in this situation. So we're going to put a little more of the setting spray on the brush, and we're going to dip in to the green. Also, side note, I'm making this up as I'm going along. And the reason that you kind of want to add the setting spray is because otherwise the pigment doesn't really pick up, particularly with this palette. So we're just adding a little bit here and there to add a little bit of that mossy effect. You know, to make it look like we just stepped out of the forest and happen to be covered in a little bit of moss kind of idea. Like someone woke us up and we are not happy. And the fun part about it being shimmery is that it gets the effect of what we want. Alright, I'm going to go and do my brows in a minute, but just want to make sure that the green goes everywhere that I want it to go. So I'm actually going to do something a bit unusual for me, really, because I have fairly dark brows, but I'm going to take this green and I'm going to put it into my brows. So first I'm going to take a spoolie brush. Spoolie. Focus on the spoolie brush. Spoolie brush. And I'm going to brush my brows, and I'm going to try and arch them as much as I can. Okay, so I don't have much of a natural brow arch anyway, but we can make do. So this is working really well, actually. I'm very impressed in getting this into my brows. Huh. Cool. So I'm taking a flat angled brush, and we're just going to try and elongate and arch the brows, just to make sure that the brows look as terrifyingly sharp and unnatural as possible. Alright, so that's the brows there. And the eyes look pretty good. So I'm going in with eyeliner. First we're going to use the Khol pencil, and then I'll get to the highlight and making everything look more smooth with the blending. Blending is very important. So I'm going to line the upper lash line and the complete lower lash line, which is unusual for me to do. There are some weird noises coming from the living room. I think I left the TV on. Oh well. Sorry, I'm hiding again. I'm going to take liquid liner. This is my NYX Skinny Marker. There. Now I've drawn the wing slightly down because I think it adds to the effect. This liner's running out a little bit, it makes me kind of sad. So again, I've drawn the wing down, and then I'm going to pull this into the corners of my eye, like so. Just for a very specific, unnatural looking effect. Alright. Finally, a little bit of highlight. Sounds crazy because I'm already covered in glitter, but hell, no harm, no foul. So we can take the usual highlight, and we are literally going to brush it all over. Found my lip stuff. So, very useful. This is a black lip liner by NYX. It is waterproof, apparently. Very cool. And we're only going to do the top lip. Bottom lip will be blanked out with concealer. That's that. And then I'm just going to throw a black lipstick. This is a lip Macaron, Macaron Lippie from NYX as well. Just to make sure that everything's smoothed out nicely. I decided against exaggerating the Cupid's bow and decided to draw it straight across. Split second decision. Sorry. Now we're going to take a concealer. This is the True Match by L'Oreal in Rose Ivory. We're just going to and then I'm just going to take my finger and then you just press your lip into it a little bit, and voila. Okay, now it's time for the hair. Okay, so what I've done, I've pulled my hair out of the ponytail, and you can put hairspray and stuff in it to zhuzh your hair up, but my hair tangles and frizzes very quickly anyway, so I'm just massaging my scalp. Now here comes the fun part, and the one part of the costume I do already have. These little horns. Yes. So I just clip it where I want it to be. Let's see. Oh. Make sure that they both point the same way. And then I just take some hair, preferably a longer strand, and then I wrap it around the bottom so that you can't see the clip. And then we take a bobby pin and we fasten it in place. And then we do the same on this side, though. If you zhuzh up your hair enough, I'm pretty sure that works too. But this just makes it kind of look like they popped straight out of your head. So now I have turned myself into a beautiful, shimmery, and yet very terrifying with the right costume. So what I recommend for costuming, probably try to go for ripped leathers. I have a brown leather skirt that I'm planning on wearing, and I have considered just wearing this semi see-through top, but I don't know how warm it's going to be, how cold it's going to be. It all completely, for me, depends on the day. But this is the completed look. I'm very, very happy with this look. I think this just needs a little bit of tweaking. I might extend the dark shadows from the sides of the face. So I'm going to go do that and then I'll be right back. Okay, so all I've done is I've pulled the black shadow a little bit farther inwards. I wish I could show you this in daylight, but unfortunately all the daylight has gone. I was a bit slow today, plus my battery died, so that was very useful. As for accessories, I recommend anything with bones, skulls, like animal skulls preferably. I would recommend pairing this with black, possibly if you can get like dead looking fake plants to maybe cover yourself with. You could zhuzh up your hair even further and make it absolutely crazy. Outfit wise, it completely depends on the weather and what you feel like wearing. I will be posting pictures of this look because this is what I will be wearing for this Halloween. Maybe with a little bit of tweaking, but at the same time I'm quite happy with how this turned out for the first time doing it ever. I'm glad I got to share the experience with you. I hope I have inspired you a little bit for your own Halloween look. And yeah, all you really need is makeup and little horns, and then technically anything you have in your cupboard that you think could work for a demonic dark nymph, forest nymph thing. Yeah, I'm really quite pleased. So this is the final look. I hope you enjoyed the journey of me kind of making this up on the go. And if you did like this video, please leave a like. If you want to see more, then there are more videos on my profile. Not a lot, but I'm working on it. And if you want to see more in the future, then please subscribe. I will be doing 3 other Halloween looks, mainly because I don't have time to do more. So keep an eye out for those, and I'll see you next time. Bye!